Welcome to the Cabin Cruiser Boating Adventure.
This is Milton Ferry Bridge on the River Nene. Today I am using my kayak as I am still awaiting the return of the Swamp Duck's engine. Okay, this is my first trip out on the Swamp Duckling. It took about a quarter of an hour to inflate it. It was quite a successful launch at a fairly easy place, and accompanied by a swan who looked a bit fraught about the whole thing. But I'm actually gently paddling upstream of the River Nene, and there's nobody about, which is the nicest thing. I'm wearing an action camera using the headgear, so I'll try and keep my head as still as much as I can. I just want to give some good shots. I think today all I want to do is to get used to paddling the boat. I've looked at various YouTube clips as to how to do this. It is suggested that one of the best positions to hold the paddle is to have it in an OK grip, like you're making the sign for OK, and that way you're not actually putting too much pressure on your hands, which for someone with arthritis is a good thing. I've seen some reviews about this craft saying that it is very good, except that the paddles could do with being a little bit longer, because you do get splashed as they come towards the boat, but it's actually not too bad at the moment. I'm just going to go as far as the next bridge, which is a railway bridge, and then I'm going to turn round and come back to the start. The start is at the top centre of this map, and the railway bridge is at the bottom left. The other thing about paddling is to make sure you put the paddle right into the water and you're not just skimming the surface. It's a very quiet river here. I don't know if it's like this all the time, but it's certainly a lot less busy than doing this on the Ashby Canal, which I didn't want to do first off, because especially around my mooring it does get very busy. The River Nene, just a little bit further up from here by 4 or 5 miles, is the first place that I ever went on a boat. It was at a place called Yarwell Mill. I think we went as far as Barnwell. There is a lock at Barnwell. We were in a rubber dinghy with a small outboard engine. I was only about 10 or 11 at the time, but I think it set the seeds and gave me an appetite for being by water and enjoying the waterways. And it was something that I always wanted to do, an ambition. So here we are, 53 years later, having a go. So far, so good. I think I'm beginning to get into a little bit of a rhythm here. I'm out of sight now of the bridge where I started from. I decided today that I would go upstream first, thinking that if I get a little bit tired, then coming downstream I would have a little bit of assistance from the current, which isn't very strong, thank goodness. I wouldn't want to be paddling against anything strong, not just yet. In terms of cost, I think I paid £238 to Amazon for this kayak, and that included delivery. I did see it cheaper on there, but then you had to pay extra for the delivery, so it kind of worked out the same. It was cheaper earlier on in the year, and I almost bought one then. It was around about £145, but I didn't. I waited because I wanted to see how much the engine was going to cost having it serviced on the Swamp Duck. So I did hold fire on that a little bit and had to pay a little bit more. So when it's coming up to the summer months, you do pay a bit more of a premium. But when I think it has cost anything up to £100 to hire a boat for the day or for 4 or 5 hours on a canal, then I'm sure this will pay for itself as time goes on, and as I know that I will be going out on more different canals, the ones that are not connected to the main network, and where I will probably never take the Swamp Duck. I just think it makes the YouTube channel more interesting to do different places that not everybody can cover. I seem to have covered quite a lot of river in a fairly short space of time. Before the pandemic struck, I had been in the habit of going swimming at least once or if not twice a week, and I would do anything up to 80 lengths in the local swimming baths. But obviously that all had to stop, and I haven't been back since. And I know that during the 15 months I've put on about £7 in weight, and I think that's just down to inactivity. So I'm hoping that doing this will help to shed some of those extra pounds. Just come into a bend in the river. The River Nene goes in an arc around Ferry Meadows Country Park. There is a kayaking lake, but it's all part of the River Nene Trust, and they do charge £10 for you to launch or land your own kayak, and you don't get very long on the water, only a few hours, so I didn't think that I wanted to do that. Launching where I did was free, even the car park was free, which is always good news. Okay, in front of me is a bridge, and I think this is the railway bridge. So I've got here a whole lot quicker than I anticipated. I just hope there's not too much of a crowd waiting when I get there. A pair of mating dragonflies have just landed on the front of the boat. I think they're attracted by the yellow, to be honest. I think that many insects are. They've just hitched a lift on the boat just so they can do the business. And now I have a dragonfly escort. On the bridge ahead, there's a helpful arrow on the central pillar, which tells me to stay to the left. This is an old railway bridge with just the track and maybe a walkway. Let's see what happens when I attempt to turn the boat round. Like an expert. I'm now making the return journey, so I'm going to keep quiet and paddle and go with the current. to the flag. These are the public moorings at Ferry Meadows, and on our last evening there were 2 cruisers moored up. Both of them belonged to continuous cruisers. A friendly chap called Dom, who invited me to have a look at his boat. It was very homely. He is a subscriber to the channel, so thank you very much, Dom, and thanks for the beer. Much appreciated. So as the sun sets on Ferry Meadows Park, tomorrow morning we move on the next part of our journey, and we're off to the east coast, and we're going to Kessingland, which is not too far from the Norfolk Broads. If you haven't subscribed, then please press the subscription button on the bottom right hand corner of the screen on your mobile phone or tablet. Please hit the bell icon on the home page of the channel and you'll be notified by YouTube each time I upload a new video. Please give us a like and please leave any comments below, as I do enjoy reading them and I will respond to each and every one of them. So thank you for watching and do take care.